And this is my third video on Chinese stamp design differences and more. Northeast China, Gate of Heavenly Peace. On the left, we have wide shading in the background, and in the middle, the same white shading, but now with a watermark. And on the right, as you can see, it is of the narrow shading type. And once again, Northeast China, 1950. On the left, white shading with watermark. On the right, narrow shading. Actually, the left two are of the white shading, yes. Various issues exist of the Gate of Heavenly Peace issue, with distinct design differences, such as shading lines, perforation, watermarks, and more. Also, an interesting collecting area where some better and some pretty decent high catalog values. People's Republic of China. Here we will look at a few examples of the Gate of Heavenly Peace, issues of 1950 through 1954. This being of the first issue, where the top shading line is broken at the right, as it is right here, or the enlargement right here. The other two lines are part of your frame lines. And here is the second issue, where the top shading line is not broken. You can see the two frame lines and the top shading line not broken. And the third issue, the cloud breaks the inner frame line at the top, right here and right here, and almost touches the character right here. Very close. That is the third issue. On the fourth issue, the cloud does not break the inner frame line. It is complete all the way through. The fifth issue of 1951 has a fine color network over the whole stamp. Yes, sorry, I unfortunately have no example to show available at this particular time. They are a little tougher because they do have a decent catalog value. In fact, some very high. And then we have the sixth issue of 1954. The inscription at the upper right, basically a total different design. Yeah, everything seems to be somewhat different. So that are the 6 issues of the People's Republic of China. Then we get into some overprints. Overprints in this particular case of Japanese occupation of China, various different provinces. we have on the left the small overprint and on the right the large overprint, meaning one is 4 millimeters on the left and on the right is 5 millimeters high. Looking at the height right here and right here. Yes, this is Japanese occupation of Inner Mongolia. Checking basic issue first could make a proper identification easier. In other words, make sure what issue this happens to be. This one here is the one with the secret marking, as well as the other stamp is also of the secret mark variety. So this is important in determining a proper catalog value. So I always check the basic stamp first and then analyze the overprint, which I feel myself it is an easier way to check out these fantastic stamps. And here's another example. On the left, the 1939 is of the type 3. That is the basic stamp with the 9 shading lines above the head and a complete shaded upper frame line. And no secret mark. This is the original issue. Okay, and in the middle, the same basic stamp of 1939, type 3. This is just without the overprint, so everything here matches here. And on the right, the 1940 issue with the secret mark, as well as perforation 14. The HOPEI 1940 overprinted issue, Japanese occupation. The basic stamp has no watermark, is perforated 14, has the secret mark right up here in the upper right. The characters are, well, the character is partially connected inside of the character. It does have a complete coat button with a star, and the overprint is of the type 2. The catalog value in this case is about $45. And so, you know, many of these overprinted stamps are relatively inexpensive, but it does pay off to check them closely because, as you can see, this particular stamp, not bad for $45. So have to check accurately. Republic of China, 1946 airmail, typically low value except for a few. This one in mint not hinged does come with a watermark as well. And this one is of the watermark type, cataloging $20 for hinged. And for mint hinged of the type without the watermark, the same identical stamp, only catalogs 60 cents. So checking such a minor detail, and this particular watermark is actually easy to see, could make a difference in the value. So again, check them closely. And then, very interestingly, the capital city of China, early on, 1913 and 1940 was typically Peking. 1932, some cancellations, and 1948, some cancels, used the word Peiping. Well, so far so good. And then I run into this. This cancel is of the 1950s, and it definitely puzzles me. Yes, it does. Why? Because if you look closely, the word Peking, where is the G? Only spells Pekin without the G, as I illustrated here. So I am not sure. I have not been able to find a clear answer. What went wrong here, or is this the way they actually spelled it, or maybe whoever made the canceller made a mistake. I am not sure. I'm still digging into that. So if any of you know, please do let me know. I would appreciate it. Thank you. And here is one more with the same postmark, identical postmark, and same spelling, Pekin, without the G. And now we are into the Republic of China, or Taiwan. We have here the crossed out denomination. Again, up to this point, I have not been able to locate any such information in any of the 2 or 3 catalogs I have at my disposal. Well, perhaps it is a specimen, perhaps it is a sample, or perhaps it is something entirely different. The stamp design was issued with that denomination and everything that you see on the stamp. But why it was crossed out, I can only guess that it may have been a specimen item. And going back to overprints. Here we have 2 similar looking sets of China. And the top one, the top row, is the 1946 issue, Japanese occupation of Taiwan, and it catalogs about $15. The bottom row of 1946 is of the Northeast Province, only cataloging $1.50. So again, proper identification is important. And typically, to look at the differences in order to identify the either province or country, basically the top vertical overprint and the 3rd and 4th character, and sometimes only the 3rd character, appears to be different. In this case, same thing right here, this character, and the 2nd character also shows a slight difference. So 2nd and 3rd, that's what it looks like. So anyways, again, we have to look closely. Obviously, too, the monetary amount overprint is also noticeably different. So that might help also to find the proper location. And again, we have on the left 2 stamps. 1946 issue, Japanese occupation of Taiwan. And on the right, the two stamps, Northeast Provinces of 1946. And once again, it appears that the third and fourth characters are different right here, as well as these two right here. And I try to look at these locations whenever I get these type of overprinted stamps. Not being able to actually read the Chinese characters, I have to figure some way that makes it easier for me. And at this point, I found that predominantly the third and fourth character, again, is the ones that seem to be different, where the remainder seem to be the same, other than obviously the denomination overprinted. And here we have Yunnan Province of 1926 and 1932. And here too, it seems that the third and fourth character are the ones to look for and compare with the illustrations in your catalog. And then we have a couple of examples of Xinjiang Province. The left two of 1933, then the middle one, 1944, and the right of 1945, but all from Xinjiang Province. And again, same thing here, looking at the middle characters. This one here, red overprint at a slight slant. I'm not sure how that came about. Maybe the sheet was inserted a little crooked or what. I'm not sure. But anyways, it's minor, so no big deal. And then again, Sichuan Province, 1933 and 1934. Again, third and fourth character. And Manchuria, 1927. Okay, again, same thing. Third and fourth, third and fourth. So it's good to know, because otherwise not being able to read or interpret the Chinese characters easily, now it makes it a little easier, because now I know exactly what characters to focus on to find a match in the catalog. So I hope something good came out of this video that you enjoyed, and hopefully you give me a thumbs up, and even more so, please do subscribe to my past and future videos. Thank you so very, very much. Well, again, we looked at a bunch of differences in stamp design and overprint differences and cancel differences for that matter. So I feel personally all these differences are important and interesting, definitely interesting to research. And again, I keep repeating myself. Yes, I do. I understand that. But I emphasize that, detailing everything is a major fun part of our super wonderful hobby. So good luck to all. And do hopefully find that treasure. And please, let everyone know when you do. Thank you. my channel, stamps, space, MyFunThings. And yes, they definitely are fun.